Having put my notebook together based on my hard drive on a local copy of my OneNote, it may be that I'm now ready to share this notebook with others. In order to share this notebook with other people, I really need to move it to the cloud. So I'm going to right-click my notebook, and from here I'm going to share this notebook. And then this is where it mentions to share this notebook you'll need to put it on OneDrive or SharePoint. So I'm actually going to put it on OneDrive, which is my cloud, and I'll choose to move it to a different folder. It's now communicating with the server, so I'll just wait for it to allow me to choose a different folder. And it's here that I'm actually on my OneDrive. From here, I might actually choose OneDrive, choose my online classrooms, choose my OneNote classroom, and I might put it in practice files and move. It's now syncing to the new location, so I'll let it synchronize. Synchronizing the changes may take a while, so you may have to wait for a little while depending on the size of the notebook. My notebook has now been moved to my cloud, and I can see this when I rest on my notebook in the notebook pane, that it now resides on OneDrive. Now this little symbol here appears whenever I need to check the synchronization status. What OneNote tends to do is it tends to automatically synchronize whenever you make a change with the cloud. And if this little symbol shows, it means it's a little bit out of sync, and it should resolve it automatically itself with time. But if you do want to think, and I'm just clicking to show you that they do appear as you click around. Once it is synchronized, the little green circle disappears. But to check the synchronization status for this particular notebook, I might right-click and I might go to Notebook Sync Status. And this is the synchronization status. And as you can see here, it's in the process of synchronizing, and that's why the little green circle's there. But as soon as it has synchronized, then that little green circle will disappear and it will be completely up to date. If at any time you want to synchronize just one notebook, just the current notebook, be aware that you can right-click the notebook and you can choose the option Sync this notebook now, which is Shift F9, and you can ask it to synchronize just the one notebook, as opposed to going into this option, which is the notebook synchronization status, where it will offer to manually or automatically synchronize all notebooks or any particular notebook. And notice the event is still synchronizing, so I'll just let that run. Besides sharing the notebook and synchronizing the notebook, you can then need to decide if you want to share the notebook with others and how you want to share it. So for example, I could right-click and I could choose the option Share this notebook. Now when it comes to sharing the notebook, you can share it with people or you can share it with a meeting, and it's still connecting. So let's just give it a second to complete that. I can now type an email address or a name of a person and invite them to share the notebook with me. So I might decide to share it with another account I've got, Kathy at Bayrodders. And I can choose to let that person edit the notebook, or I might decide that they can only view the notebook. So there's one of two levels of permissions. So I might say that they can view it, and I'll just complete entering their email address. No, that wants me to type the whole thing. And then I'll type a message. Please find a link which will enable you to view my OneNote notebook. I can require the user to sign in before accessing the document or not, and I'll simply share. And this will send an email and share with the people, one or more people that I invited. Besides sending an email, you also have the option of sharing a link. So you can in fact create a link to the file simply by clicking this option. And I can create a link which will allow anyone with a view link can view this document, whereas if I create this link, anyone with an edit link can edit the document. So you choose which link you want to create and you send it to the appropriate person or give it to the appropriate person. And here I can see that I've got that this notebook has been shared with 2 people, Kathy at Bay Rodders, and they can only view, and there's myself who's the owner. So you can share a notebook with others via email, or you can share a notebook with others via a link. If at any stage I wish to unshare a notebook, that's also an option. If, for instance, I go out of here, I could, and notice the little green circle is gone, so I'm now fully synchronized. In fact, let's just have a look at this. If I right click on it and I go into Notebook Sync Status, I can see here, oh, it may still be synchronizing, so it does take a little while. So while it's still synchronizing, let's just go back and have a look at the sharing aspect. If I go back to File in the ribbon and I go back to Share, what we saw earlier is that we could share this notebook with people either via an email or via a link. And what it does here is it tells us who actually has share access to the notebook, and as I mentioned earlier, this is the owner and this person can view. Now if I wish to remove this person or maybe change it that they can actually edit now and not just view, I would right click. And if I right click, I can remove this user, so I've unshared the workbook, they can no longer view it. Or this here will allow me to change the permission from can view to can edit. So it's very easy to share and to synchronize and to move a notebook onto the cloud. It can be done, of course, in a number of places. I could have also gone to Info and gone to Settings, and in here is where I can also synchronize the workbook. I can share the workbook with others and I can move it. Here's also another location where I can invite people to this notebook, and here also is another way that I can view the synchronization status. So in order to share, we want to put it on the cloud and then share a link with other people and they can view it or edit it.